Okay, guys. Today we'll be talking about the what the bankers don't want you to know. Well, I'm going to be sharing this video with you guys, so watch it together. Okay. Okay. Robert Kawasaki. Okay, Baba. So the financial conspiracy most people still don't know. Most people don't know about this financial conspiracy. So let's hit the ground
when the
running.
economy collapsed. Many lost everything. And the one thing they're counting on right now is that you still don't understand how they did it. Yes, there's a conspiracy, but it's not what you think.
Hmm. There is a conspiracy, but it is not what you think. If you think you know it, you don't know it yet. There's a conspiracy, and you think you know it, but you don't know it. Robert Kiyosaki, remember him, right? He's the author of the book Rich Dad Poor Dad. Let's keep listening.
And I'm going to show you before they do it again.
Hmm. He is going to show us before they do it again. I told you guys, he's the author of Rich Dad. The show is the Rich Dad radio show with Robert Kiyosaki. Okay,
The Rich
Kiyosaki.
Dad Radio Show. The good news and bad news about money.
Hmm.
Here's Robert Kiyosaki.
Okay, sir.
Welcome to the Rich Dad Radio Show, the good and bad about money. This is Robert Kiyosaki, and today is just you and me. And we're talking about what the rich are teaching their kids about money, the rules they don't want you to know.
What the rich are teaching their kids about money and the rules they don't want you to know.
There's a conspiracy, but it's not what you think. The rich aren't trying to keep you poor. The system is.
Hmm. It's not the rich that are trying to keep you poor, it is the entire system. What a revelation. Let's keep going.
For helping them do it. See, most people hear a conspiracy of the rich and they think evil billionaires in a room plotting against them.
Hmm.
That's not it.
So it's not the billionaires, it's not the rich that are plotting against you, it's the entire system. Okay,
The real
let's go.
conspiracy is simpler than that. It's financial ignorance by design. And here's the thing. Once you see how this works, you can't unsee it. Most people never see it.
Once you see how this works, you can't unsee. This is deep, man. This is deep.
They go their whole lives blaming the wrong people, angry at the wrong enemy, fighting for the wrong thing. But there are those who see it, who understand the game, and that's the difference. That's the
Those who understand the game, those who understand the game, underline the word. Those who understand the game, those who understand the game. This is deeper than I thought, man. This is deeper than I thought. Those who understand the game. Sorry, this is Nigeria, man. Sorry, my light is off. I don't know why. I'm trying to set this. The light went off for no reason. Are we back? Why is the light doing this? Sorry, guys. Let me figure this out. Okay, with or without the light, let's keep listening to Robert Kawasaki. You know,
line. They understand the game. Rich versus poor isn't about money in the bank. It's about what you see and what you've been taught not to see.
It's about what you see and what you've been taught not to see. The truth of the matter is that what have you been taught to see? What do you know about money? It's all about what we were taught in school. Have you ever wondered that nobody really teaches us about money, really, really in school, like they should? They can come and teach you. Maths, English. I think money should be taught as a subject in school. But anyway, uh, we're gonna get there someday. We're gonna get there. See you when we get there. Okay, let's
Let
keep
me
listening.
show you. The real conspiracy isn't some secret society, it's a date, 1971.
Wow. What happened in 1971? This is deeper than you think. This is deeper than you think. Yeah, what happened in 1971?
Most people have no idea what happened in 1971, but that's when everything changed. That's when the rules of money changed.
The rules of money changed in 1971. I think I got an idea, Dr. Robert Kiyosaki. I think I've got an idea, the goat, but let's keep listening. Wow, the rule of money changed in 1971.
Forever. President Nixon in a 2-day meeting, and he made a decision that affects your bank account right now.
Wow,
Today, he took the United States off the gold standard.
took the United States off the gold standard. So, for those of you who don't know, yeah, money is to have real value. It wasn't fiat money. Money was exchanged for gold, real gold.
Now, stay with me here. This is important. Before 1971, the US dollar was backed by gold, real gold.
The US dollar was backed by gold, man. Real gold. Real gold. Then what happened, sir? What now happened? What now happened, sir? What now happened?
Tangible. You could trade your dollars for actual gold. That meant the dollar had real value. It was tied to something solid. After 1971, it became what they call fiat currency. Fiat means by decree, by government say so. The dollar became an IOU backed by nothing
Hmm. The dollar become an IOU backed by nothing.
except the full faith and credit of the US government, which really means backed by you, the
Hmm.
taxpayer.
That means the dollar is now backed by you and I. Is now backed. Your naira is backed by you and I, the taxpayer.
Now, here's what most people don't understand currency, the word itself.
Current. Yeah, not get. It flows. It flows. Currency. The flow of current. Hmm. And I got one theory. Do you know that during the rainy season, the rivers gets full, and during the dry season, most rivers dry up, and that is it. You see, we have the boom, we have the recession. Once it comes to money, during the boom period, too much money. During recession, no money. So I understand currency a little.
Means flow, like a current. It moves, it fluctuates, it's not stable.
Hmm. It fluctuates. Recession, boom, recession, boom. It's left for you to find an equilibrium, a balance, right? Let's go.
Money was stable, currency is not. And that's the switch they made from money to currency, from something solid to something that flows. That
Hmm.
changes, that inflates. And people
From
say,
something solid like gold onto something that change, that flows like current. Wow. Gee.
well, that doesn't affect me. It does, every single day. Because what happened after 1971? A massive economic boom, credit everything.
I said it. Massive economic what? Boom.
Everywhere. Credit cards spreading across the country, people borrowing against their homes, taking out home equity loans like their house was an ATM machine. Everyone thought they were getting richer, but they weren't. They were getting more currency, which isn't the same thing. And here's what the system counts on. It count on you not knowing the difference between currency and money, between real wealth and the flow of dollars that can disappear.
We don't know the difference between currency and money. We don't know the difference. A lot of people don't know the difference between currency and money.
Overnight. That boom I just mentioned, it led to something else. And this is where it gets uncomfortable because most people think the worst part is what happened to the economy. It's not. The worst part is what the people at the top did when it all fell apart, what they did to you. And I'm going to tell you exactly what that was right after this break. Don't go anywhere because once you hear this next part, you are going to be angry, and you should be.
Hmm. Read
Welcome
that,
back.
go that.
Now,
Hmm. Are you thinking what I'm thinking, guys? Are we there?
before the break, I told you about 1971, about fiat currency, about the boom that followed. And I told you the worst part wasn't the boom going bust. The worst part was what the people who built the system did when it collapsed. Here it is. Remember 2008? The housing bubble popped, the economy collapsed, and people lost everything.
I remember the economy collapse in 2027, 2020, and 20, 2007 and 2008. I remember very well. I was investing massively in the capital market. I was investing massively, and everything came crashing.
Their homes, their jobs, their retirement accounts. Then they lost everything, and everyone acted shocked. How could this happen? How did see this coming? Except people did see it coming. The banks saw it, the brokers saw it, the people at the top, they knew. Let me explain how this worked. In the mid 2000s, banks were selling mortgages to people who couldn't afford them, subprime mortgages, high risk. Everyone in the industry knew these people couldn't pay, but they sold them anyway, packaged them up, bundled them with other mortgages, and then, here's the key, they rated them triple A. Triple A means safe, low risk, solid investment.
Hmm. I remember, oh my God, they were just rating even Nigerian banks, they were rating Nigerian economy so that Nigerians can go and borrow money. I remember. Wow, wow, wow.
But they weren't. They were junk. B-rated bonds mixed in with A-rated bonds, triple A, and people bought them. Investors, retirement funds, pension funds, because they trusted the rating. Now bonds started defaulting, not just the B bonds, triple A bonds, the ones that were supposed to be safe.
Wow, wow, wow. Even the ones that are supposed to be safe, man. Lord, sure, ha. Hmm. This world that we're living in, if you don't know how the systems work, you will you will be at a crossroad. Know how systems work. Give me a break. Let me take a break. I'll be back. I'm back. Sorry guys. Sorry. Let this is quickly. Okay, let's do this. Okay, let's listen to the wise man teaching. Okay, sir. Flow.
And the banks, they kept saying everything was fine.
Hmm.
They kept selling. They kept lying.
Kept saying everything is fine. Wow. Just be careful in this world. 1 minute. They kept saying everything is fine, but was everything fine, guys? Let's
They
check.
were making money, huge money, until it all fell.
until it all fell apart. A lot of people lost money. In fact, a lot of people lost money in 2008, 2007, 2008. The world went into what they call the global recession. You know, a lot of people, a lot of economy was affected. Mm, Papa, go on, Papa.
When the market crashed and the banks were failing and the entire economy was on the edge of total collapse, the government bailed them out with your money, taxpayer money.
It's called it bailout. I remember then they called it bailout. They were trying to bail out the banks and they did. So where did the government get the money to build the banks? It was our money.
Your money. The banks that were too big to fail failed, and you paid for it. Now here's the part that should make you angry. Almost no one went to jail. The people who committed fraud,
Wow. It's just crazy. I remember now, I'm just thinking now. Almost no one went to jail. Even in Nigeria here, a lot of banks. You remember, guys, remember, let's not go there.
who lied about the rating, who sold garbage investments to pension funds and retirement accounts. They walked away, some of them with bonuses. And people say, well, that's just how it is. The rich take care of the rich. No, that's not it. What happened was this: the banks relied on something. They relied on people not understanding how money works, not understanding bonds, ratings, risk, mortgages. They used complex terms, industry jargon, kept people in the dark, and it worked. Because most people are financially illiterate, not because they're dumb, but because they were never taught. The school system failed them.
Hmm. Remember, I said earlier the school system, they never taught us money. Oh, they don't even teach our children money. It's our responsibility as parents to teach our children about money, how money works, right? It is our responsibility. Schools don't teach children about money to this day.
Their parents never learned. So, how could they teach their kids? And the banks, the brokers, the financial planners, they took advantage of that ignorance on purpose. And here's what they're counting on: they're counting on you still not understanding, still trusting them, still handing over your money and hoping they'll make you rich, while they get richer and you stay broke. So why don't people understand money? Simple. They were never taught. School didn't teach you. Your parents didn't teach you because their parents didn't teach them. You might have learned how to balance a checkbook, maybe how to open a savings account, but did anyone teach you how money actually works? How to use the banking system to your advantage? No.
Wow. How to use the banking system. Funny enough, I was discussing with my colleagues recently, and he said something. Let me tell you guys, it's not bad to borrow for business.
They taught you to save, to get a job, to work hard, to trust the experts. And here's the thing: that advice is designed to keep you poor. I know that sounds harsh, but think about it. Who told you to save your money? Your banker, your financial planner, your teacher. People who either don't understand money themselves or who have a vested interest in you giving them your money. A banker wants you to deposit your money in their bank. Of course, they're going to tell you saving is smart. A financial planner wants you to invest in their mutual funds. Of course, they're going to say it's safe. They're salespeople with nice titles. And the biggest lie they ever told you, it's about assets and liabilities. Now, I need you to stay with me here because what I'm about to explain after the break, this is the one thing, the single concept that separates the rich from everyone else. It sounds simple, and people will argue with me when I say it. They get angry. But once you hear it, and once you actually understand it, you will look at your house, your car, your 401k, your savings account completely differently. Stay with me. Be right back.
Wow. Wow. This is an eye
Back before the
opener,
break, I
guys.
told you I would tell you the biggest lie: assets and life.
Hmm. What I try to tell me that all I know about asset and liability are lies? Don't tell me there, sir. This can't be true. Oh no. Can this be true? How can this be true? And I've been teaching about assets and liabilities too. Let me listen, man.
Liabilities. Most people think their home is an asset. They were taught that. Buy a house, it's an investment, it's an asset. Wrong. An asset puts money in your pocket. A liability takes money out of your pocket. That's it. That's the definition. Your house, the one you live in, it takes money out of your pocket every single month.
What? What? So what should I do? What should I do? Am I going to be staying? Where will I stay? In hotel? Am I going to stay in private jets? Where else will I stay, sir? Let's listen.
Mortgage payment, property taxes, insurance, maintenance, repairs, money out every month. That's not an asset, that's a liability. Now, a rental property that generates cash flow, that's an asset because it puts money in your pocket. But your primary residence, liability. And this is what the banks counted on in 2008. People believed their homes were assets, so they borrowed against them, treated them like ATM machines, took out home equity loans. Then the market crashed, and suddenly those homes were worth less than what people owed. Upside down, underwater, whatever you want to call it, people lost everything because they didn't understand the difference between an asset and a liability, and no one taught them.
Hmm. Wow. Wow. He didn't understand the difference between assets and liability.
By design. See, if you understood assets and liabilities, you'd stop putting your money into things that make you poor. You'd stop trusting the bank to grow your wealth. You'd stop listening to financial planners who are really just salespeople. You'd start thinking differently, investing differently, building real wealth. And the system doesn't want that. The system wants you working hard, earning a salary, paying taxes, putting money in a 401k, buying a house with a 30-year mortgage, staying in debt, because that's how they make money off of you. And the advice you're following right now, the advice you've been given your whole life, it's making it worse. Let me show you how. Another date that changed everything, 1974. That's when the 401k was born, the defined contribution plan. Before 1974, companies offered pensions, defined benefit plans. You worked for 30 years, you retired, and the company kept paying you for life. After 1974, that went away. Now you get a 401k. You put your money in, the company maybe matches some of it, and you hope, you pray that when you're 65, there's enough in that account to last you until you die. You're gambling with your retirement, with your future. And everyone tells you this is smart, this is responsible. Save for retirement.
Ha! Oh boy. Gee. Wow. Don't be ignorant, guys. Don't be ignorant. Don't live in ignorance, man.
Max out your 401k. Diversify. But here's what they don't tell you. When you put money in a 401k, you're trusting the market, you're trusting the banks, you're trusting that the economy won't collapse again. And you're getting taxed twice. Once on the deferred income when you take it out, and again on the interest. You saved all that money, and the government takes a huge chunk of it. That's the plan they sold you. Save your money, trust the system. But saving is losing. Let me say that again. Saving money is a losing strategy. Because remember, what is money?
Did I hear that saving money is a losing strategy? Wow, wow. Saving money is a losing. So what should I do, bro?
It's currency. It flows. It inflates. It loses value over time.
Wow, time value of money, inflation, it loses value over time.
You put $10,000 in a savings account today. In 20 years with inflation, that money is worth less, maybe a lot less. The bank isn't protecting you. The bank is using your money. They're lending it out, making money off of it, and giving you what? 0.5% interest? You're making them rich while your money sits there losing value. And if the economy shifts, if the US dollar loses its status as the world reserve currency, your savings could become worthless or worth a lot less than it is today. The bank can't protect you from that. The government can't protect you from that. But this is what you've been told to do: save, diversify, trust the experts. And here's the problem: that advice keeps you poor because while you're saving, the rich are doing something else. They're not saving, they're investing, they're spending. But they're spending smart. They're buying assets, real assets, things that generate cash flow, things that put money in their pockets, not liabilities disguised as assets. And they're taking control. They're not trusting the market. They're not hoping their 401k grows. They're building wealth, real wealth. So, what do the rich do differently? They see money as a tool, not a burden, not something to save and protect and hope it grows, a tool they control. The difference between rich and poor isn't the amount of money in the bank, it's how they think about money. Poor people,
Ah, I'm trying to digest things. I'm trying to digest things. It's how you think about money that matters. It's not the amount of money in the bank. So we need to see money as tools, man. Wow, this is deep.
people see money as a burden, something they have to work hard for, trade their time, is never enough. Rich people see money as a tool, something they can use, control, make work
Yes.
for them. That's the shift. And it comes down to understanding assets and liabilities. My poor dad, he worked hard his whole life, good salary, respectable job. But look at his financial statement: high income, even higher expenses, massive liabilities, his house, his car, credit cards, very few assets. He worked harder, made more money, paid more taxes, and his liabilities ate up everything else. My rich dad, slightly higher income, but much lower expenses. And here's the